2 months to the day since the application window to become the new permanent manager closed, lots of questions remain. Our senior reporter, Rob Dorset, I'm hoping, has the answers. All right, what have you learned today?
A really significant bit of news, Mike. A story I've been working on for quite a while, but it's been made clear to me that Jurgen Klopp, Graham Potter, Eddie Howe and Thomas Tuchel have had no contact at all from the FA in regard to that vacant England's men's senior manager position, and that increases the likelihood that Lee Carsley, who's in interim charge at the moment, may well get the job longer term. Now, look, let's talk about Lee Carsley in a moment, because these are four of the biggest names in European football. Three of them, the three nearest to you, are out of work right now and available and can be spoken to at any time by anybody who might want to employ them. So I think it's a significant headline that the FA has decided not to speak to those at this stage. Remember, Gareth Southgate resigned 11 weeks ago. The closing date for applications to apply for the job, which the FA put on their own website, that closed 2 months ago, and yet these guys have still not been spoken to. Eddie Howe, of course, is currently in a job with Newcastle, but it's been made pretty clear to me that there's been no approach from the FA to Newcastle to ask for permission to speak to him either. Now, the statement that the FA put out on the day that Southgate resigned, on July the 16th, said the process for appointing Gareth's successor is now underway. We aim to have our new manager confirmed as soon as possible. We have an interim solution in place if needed. Now, of course, the interim solution is Lee Carsley. He's done a very good job so far, got 2-2-0 victories last month in his first two matches in charge. But the fact that these four men are not on the FA shortlist, when we thought they were the highest profile names, as far as we were concerned in the media, on that FA shortlist. The fact that the FA hasn't spoken to them, I think, is a really, really big headline in its own right. And it makes you question what exactly the FA are thinking here.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. If they don't want these four, who do they want?
Well, of course, look, we're not party to who they do want to speak to. Maybe other candidates that they have spoken to. It's Chief Executive Mark Bullingham and Technical Director John McDermott who've been leading the process to look at possible candidates. But I think there will be question marks now about how that process is working. How comprehensive is it? Why wouldn't you want to speak to some of the best names, the biggest names in European football, three of whom are available?
You'd have a conversation at least.
You would have thought so when you're doing your due diligence. And certainly that's what a lot of people have suggested to me, that they're surprised they haven't even been spoken to. If nothing else, to rule them out, to decide if they're interested in the job, to decide whether the FA can afford them, to decide whether it's a possibility. But if you look at the advert that the FA put out for the job, we can show you this, look. This is what the criteria is that they want in the next England manager. Significant experience of English football. And bear in mind, when we're talking through these, think of Jurgen Klopp, Eddie Howe, Thomas Tuchel and Graham Potter and see whether they tick all of these boxes.
OK.
Significant experience of English football. Strong track record delivering results in Premier League or leading international competitions. Highly resilient and comfortable in a very high-profile role with intense public scrutiny. Will understand and embrace the role that the head coach has in inspiring the nation. That last one, I think, is a conversation that the FA would have to have with any candidate. And that was what Gareth Southgate was so good at. Can anybody match him in that? That's probably a tall order. But I think the reason this story is so significant is it's very difficult to see how the four men we're talking about don't fulfil all of those criteria. And so why haven't the FA spoken to them? Why haven't they made any approach to speak to them?
All right, well, we've been talking about Lee Carsley. Does he fulfil all of these criteria?
That's a key question. Significant experience of English football. Only a caretaker manager at club level? Probably not. Strong track record delivering results in the Premier League? No, definitely not the Premier League. Leading international competitions? Absolutely yes. Because he won the Under-21s European Championships last summer for England. A heck of an achievement. That has stood him in very good stead in the FA's mind. Highly resilient and comfortable in a very high-profile role. And those bottom two, I think, is what the FA have been assessing Lee Carsley for so far. How does he cope with the media scrutiny? And he did a fantastic job in the Republic of Ireland in Dublin last time, when there were that media storm about the fact that he didn't want to sing the English national anthem. He was very calm. He coped with it admirably in every media conference that he did. And he said, look, I never sang the Irish national anthem when I played 40 times for the Republic of Ireland. So I think he handled that very well and impressed the FA hierarchy as a result of that. But there's no doubt that the FA will have other names beyond these four that they're considering. There's probably a number that they've spoken to as well. My question is, well, why haven't they spoken to those four as well? We put it to the FA and they have declined to comment because they are determined to keep this process absolutely confidential, as they have from the start, in fairness to them. But whichever way you look at it, it's a heck of a headline that Klopp, Tuchel, Potter and Howe are not under consideration by the FA at this stage. And as a result of all of that, more likely than ever that Lee Carsley will probably get the job on a longer-term basis.
There are questions for the FA to answer. Thank you for asking them, Rob. Rob Dorset, our senior reporter. Well, we will hear from Carsley when he announces his squad for the Nations League fixtures against Greece and Finland. That's right here, Sky Sports News from 2 o'clock tomorrow.